This video is sponsored by Dave's Reel Service.
Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I think what a lot of people don't talk about that's really important is the proper maintenance and cleaning of our reels. And if you take anything away from today's video, take this piece of advice. Take care of your tools, take care of your equipment, and they'll take care of you. So this is my favorite reel. This is the Shimano Scorpion DC. This is the first generation that's all black. And this is a JDM reel at the time that I bought it back in, oh gosh, 2020, I think. You can get them now, the second generation, the Scorpion DCs. I like this rod mainly because it's black. And black goes with pretty much everything and a lot of the rods that I have. So this reel, like I said, has been my workhorse, and I've put it through its paces. 3 years into it, you can kind of tell. So I love this reel, but there is some things in this reel that needs repair. So the first one is, it is a little bit rough as you're, reeling it back in. The thumb, the clutch bar, it does stick every now and then. See right there, it's stuck. So this is just a free spooling reel, not engaging at all. And so when you're casting it out, you're having to flip it back up. And it doesn't happen every time, like I said, but it's enough that it does get pretty annoying. Secondly, if there's any type of weight on the end of the line, all the way down to a 3/4 ounce chatterbait. I know this. Here, you can just hear it. The spool itself's a little bent, I think. That's what's wrong with this reel. Unfortunately, when I bought this and I went to go get this serviced, Shimano North America would not service JDM rods here in North America. So, I did a little bit of research and I found a local reel repair shop here to Northern Illinois in Vernon Hills, known as Dave's Reel Service. And like I said, I've been using them now for 5 years, and there's nobody else that I send my reels into. Not only the quality, but just the communication that they have. The guys over at Dave's actually take the time to write exactly what they did, tell you what they replaced, what was going bad, why it was going bad, why they replaced it. And so, like I said, there's nobody else that I send my reels into. And so I keep all of my reel boxes. It's a great way to kind of transport them when you're traveling. If you don't have the reel coverings to take with you, these work really, really well for transport. So you just put your reel back in, put it in there, put it back into the box. So now all I need to do is just send this in. You guys will be able to see it from their point of view. You'll follow along with this package to Dave's Reel Service. They're gonna clean it, service it, take you through their process, which I'm excited to see. I haven't seen it, so we're all gonna be watching this together for the first time. And the next time you see me will be me opening this up and seeing what they did to the reel, how it works, how it feels now that it's clean, now that it's repaired. But before we get into that, I just hit 15,000 subscribers, and I just want to say thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. My goal for the end of the year is 50,000, and we are well along the way. I've only had this channel up for less than a year, and this ride has been amazing. So thank you, everybody. If you like this video, maybe give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and maybe turn on the notification bell. It really does help me out. And let me know down in the comments. Do you self-service your own reels, or do you send them in? So
Okay, reel got shipped in. Customer is Ty Bartholomew from Chicago, Scorpion DC. I talked to him on the phone. Filled out his service form, and he noted the gears, rough, noisy, spool bent or distorted, probably making noise. And on his clutch thumb bar, does not engage. Wants me to completely clean the whole reel, check everything. And that's what we do here at Dave's Reel Service. So, here's the reel. And it's a JDM Scorpion. A little grungy. Let me get on the light here. Typically how they come in, guy fishes. We know he fishes. You can see all the dirt on the reel. And checking the reel, we'll do an assessment. So we got the Scorpion 100 HG. It's a Japanese domestic Shimano. Was never sold in America through Shimano. It was bought online and shipped here from Japan. Okay, and we're going to take this little guy apart. We know the thumb bar is very weak, and right there it's not even activating. That's the main cause. It's also very dirty. We're going to check all the bearings, check the anti-reverse, check the drag system on this guy. Okay, and got to go to the open right there. And I have not taken this reel apart. And that's the DC module. No need to take that apart unless you have to take out the bearing. There's a bearing deep inside in there, okay? And we'll take some photos later. Don't ever lose this in the water. It's about a $200 part. Here's the spool. I do notice a little bit of wear on the rings of the spool, the outer edges. So it's probably using some heavy line causing the spool to flex, okay? Other than that, I don't see any horrible damage or corrosion. In there we got our pinion, and no corrosion, just dirty. So we come over here to this side, we got our lock plate. Shimano does use Loctite on some of the parts, so it can be a little tricky to get some of these things off. And that screw right there. And our nut driver, 10 millimeter. And that was actually loose, which is not a good thing. And we just lay the parts out. I work on these every day, so you could scatter all these parts. It wouldn't bother me a bit. I've been doing Shimano since 1981. That screw is really tight. Tight. Very tight. This reel has probably never been taken apart. And then you got another screw over here. Okay, we got our side plate. So we'll just put the screws over there. I don't see any metal shavings. There's our one-way roller bearing, upper pinion bearing, our right side spool bearing. It's right there. Okay. Put the drag parts over there. I look on the sleeve to see if there's any wear. There's basically no wear. And our yoke springs. Don't want to lose those. Our pinion, the pinion yoke. And then we have our pressure plate, our carbon fiber drag, which is decent for Shimano. Nothing great compared to the American-made carbon fiber drags. The lower drag, the drag plate on the bottom, also called the ratchet. Right now, like I said, nothing looks really bad. The reel's not filled with sand or dirt. Oh, here's our culprit. Can we see that? Can you zoom in there for me, my friend? Yeah, we'll zoom in. And then you see the spring right there? So,
yeah.
So here's your clutch cam, and here's the spring. Funny it still worked, but the spring is broken. So there's the culprit. The good thing is, folks, that spring didn't go into the gears. If that would have went into the gears, it would have ruined the gears. The gears on this reel, I don't know for sure, probably at least 40 bucks. Maybe more, depends on the model. And then we're going to come over here and take out the drive shaft because there's a ball bearing down there. And it's rough. We're going to put a new bearing in. Those are called drive bearings, okay? So wiggle this guy out. And that ball bearing, we're going to replace that. It's shot. This is a pinion from a Tranks. We're going to check. Oh, this bearing's frozen. The lower pinion bearing, it barely turns. Another culprit. So what's happening is this turned into a bushing, the lower pinion on this bearing. This bearing wasn't even turning. There's a bearing in here. Big problem. And then, remember this upper pinion, folks? Another drive bearing. and it's super rough. Main reason, everything felt rough. And that happens on Shimano's, Daiwas. A lot of your high-end reels, they have these drive bearings, and they go bad. Okay. Remember the spool bearing? It's probably shot also. It's a little rough. You can't hear it. But in a reel like this, we're just going to put a brand new ball bearing in, Japanese. Japanese ball bearing. Because we got a part, let's just change the bearings, the spool bearing, because you know that spool bearing is spinning thousands of times a second because of the casting that this guy's doing every day. They wear out. And anybody that's got a reel that's greater than a couple of years old and you fish a lot, the spool bearings just go bad. Do not put in Chinese spool bearings. They're garbage. Put in high-quality stainless Japanese bearings for spool. It's definitely worth the money. Here's that upper pinion bearing, which is garbage. So here we are. Everything is clean. And this is how we want to do it. You really want everything nice and clean. No debris, no dirt, no sand. Salt water, no salt. The gears, always inspect, nice and clean. If they are damaged, we're going to put new gears in. Remember we talked about those drive bearings? These are the brand new drive bearings. The lower drive shaft bearing, the upper pinion bearing, the lower pinion bearing. Remember, these were shot. These are the brand new ones. We also checked the one-way roller bearing. It's fine, no damage, still nice and tight. That spring that was broken, there's the brand new spring for the, the clutch, okay? That goes in here to work the thumb bar. But that's what we do. Everything's got to be cleaned. Everything. There's that spool bearing we're going to change. The other spool bearing down there we're going to change because of the miles on the reel. So I'm going to put it back together. And then I'll come back to some more photos and video. So we put the clutch cam spring back in. We put grease around both sides of that bearing. The level wind. Put everything back in, nice and clean as it should be. Okay? And we'll keep on going here. Okay, we're just moving along. Got the drive system back in. No grease yet in the gears. The grease will just be minimal grease. You never want too much grease. And you can see how nice and everything looks, how it should. There's your upper pinion bearing. I put that new spool bearing in underneath. You didn't see it, but it's in there. And it's moving along just fine. Okay, so all back together. This was Ty's reel from Chicago. The Shimano DC Scorpion 100 HG. Remember, folks, Dave, can you scan in?
Yeah.
The broken spring for the clutch was broken.
Right.
Was the main culprit. And then we took it apart. Two of the drive bearings were frozen, didn't even turn. One was very rough. We also changed out the spool bearings that were a little rough because we had the whole reel apart. Let's just do it right. And now we can just see the reel is just quiet, silky, smooth. The spool just spins and spins. The drag. I did add one little spacer washer to the drag because it took so long to tighten it up. But just a beautiful reel. And it's got some miles on it, but the gears are still good. This thing's going to last a long time. And that's what happens. It needs maintenance. You buy an expensive reel, you fish it hard, it does need maintenance. It's worth repair. It's Mark again, Dave's Reel Service. We finished up the Scorpion HG100 DC Shimano. As you saw in the video, we completely cleaned the whole reel, replaced all the drive bearings, the spool bearings, re-lubricated properly. The reel is now silky smooth. We loaded up monofilament line, test casted, cast like $1 million, ready to go back. Dave's Reel Service, we specialize in Shimano, Daiwa. We stock lots and lots of parts for those models, and that's what we do all day in our workshop. Orders come in, we get them done, we call our customers, let them know what we did. A lot of customer service. So this is going to go back to Ty. He sent it in from down in Chicago, and we're going to put it back in the box and ship it back to Ty, and he's going to take it out fishing. Ty, it's been a pleasure working with you.
Thanks, Mark. So in here I have the repaired Scorpion that I sent into Dave's Reel Service. So go ahead and open it up and see, this is what I was talking about. You know, they send you a full breakdown of, you know, what they did, what was, so like what they replaced: the spool bearings, drive bearings, the clutch springs, the cleaning service. So yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is fantastic. You know, them being able to put this all together, it really tells you kind of an idea of, you know, what's going on with the rod or going on with your reel. So like you said, for Shimano's, you know, those drive bearings, a lot of the bearings do go out within a couple of years. So it was good to send it in to get repaired. But here she is. Oh yeah. This just, I mean, I don't know if you can tell by now, or tell by looking at it, but so much cleaner than what it was. Smooth. Super smooth. Yeah, the drag knob is great. Oh, this just feels so much better. So yeah, I couldn't be happier with the service that Dave's Reel Service provides. Huge shout out to Mark and Dave over at Dave's Reel Service. Mark was the guy that you were actually watching clean and put together. Dave was the one holding the camera. So like I said, I'll put their link in the description below. You know, take care of your tools and they'll take care of you, right? I think, you know, Mark said it pretty well. You know, you're spending money on reels like this, you know, several $100s. It's an investment, so you want to take care of these things. You want them to last a really long time. And so I hope to have this in my arsenal for many, many years to come. And the only way to do that is to continue to maintain it and get it cleaned and get the service. So appreciate y'all watching. Again, huge shout out to Mark, to Dave, and everybody at Dave's Reel Service for sponsoring this video. I hope y'all enjoyed watching the video, kind of seeing it, you know, from my point of view, explaining what was wrong with the reel, and then seeing it from Mark's point of view at Dave's Reel Service. I always find that stuff kind of interesting, a lot of fun to watch. So hopefully you learned something out of it, got something out of it, learned something new today. But if you did, go ahead and like this video. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know if you service your own reels or you send them in as well. Appreciate y'all watching, and as always, get out there and fish. And tight lines, y'all.